This game has got more drama than the complete works of Shakespeare. And once again, for the third season running, it has come down to the last game of the season. Our fate is in our own hands. Let's go and kick some balls. Hello and welcome back to Norwich, part 30, season 4 in the Ferguson save set in the future. This game just continues to defy logic, and once again it has come down to the final game of the season, and which European competition we will be in is yet to be decided, and will be decided after we have played Sheffield United in the final game of the season today. As you can see, we are sitting in third place. We cannot go any higher, but Manchester City, Arsenal and Leicester can all go above us if we fail to beat Sheffield United. The permutations are far too many to go through them all, but what we do know is that we cannot finish lower than 6th. That will mean Europa League next season, but if we can finish in 3rd or 4th, of course that will mean Champions League next season, and that's where the money is. And hopefully if we get into the Champions League, more money will be available in the summer through the budgets. Manchester City have 2 games in hand, and you have to assume that they are going to go above us, and Leicester have a game in hand over us, and they could equally go above us. It's all come down to the wire, and we have no idea which competition we are going to be in. And today we will be playing that game at home to Sheffield United, our last game of the current season, and then we will find out what's in the budgets for the summer, and then we will do a quick season's review at the end of the episode. And so there is a lot to get through, but before we go through all that, if you're brand new to the channel, you like FM content and you love to see people like me suffering playing this game, you're definitely in the right place. Why not subscribe and like, watch and comment, help the channel to grow and help the algorithm to push the channel out to brand new viewers who don't even know that we exist yet. This channel has been set up to support the British Heart Foundation. But in this season of hope and despair, let's have a look at what has happened on the pitch since you were last with us. And when you were last with us, you saw us have that 1-1 draw against Manchester City, and then we followed that with an equally surprising 1-0 home victory against top of the league Tottenham. And things just seemed for a minute to get a lot worse. We lost at home to Bournemouth before we beat Aston Villa by the same score, 1-0. And then we beat Arsenal. We thumped Arsenal in the Premier League by 3-0. We followed that up with a comfortable 2-1 win against Brentford, and now that brings us to today's game against Sheffield United. And just like last season, who knows what is going to happen? All we can do is go out and try and win our game. I have a couple of problems going into the summer transfer window. Our form was up, our form was down, and what the game seemed to be telling me was that we cannot be in both competitions. We cannot compete in the Champions League and the Premier League. I have a number of players who are wanted, but not the players that I would like to be wanted. I would like, I think, to try to play in the Brazilian 4-2-4. Unfortunately, the players who are wanted are players who fit that system, but players who don't fit the system, like Fortes, who is a very good player and he could bring in a lot of money. He has a transfer value of 62 million. Kitambala, who has a transfer window of 71 million. And Clark Pook, who has a transfer value of 100 million. If we could actually offload that players, and with the transfer budget that we will get in for the summer, this could mean that we have around 160 to 180 million pounds to spend. But unfortunately, those are not the players who are wanted. It is other players who are wanted. I don't know what to do. I don't quite know how to approach this transfer window. There are two options for me. I can just bring in a couple of players and strengthen the squad overall, or we can make some sales and start doing a big rebuild. I'm really not quite sure how to approach this window, and what happens in the summer probably will define how the save goes in the future. What is clear is that we are unable to play both in the Champions League and in the league. And we need to address that, and we need to strengthen the squad somehow. It's not a big squad, it doesn't have the strength in depth, and we need somehow to address that. Let me know in the comments, guys, what you think I should do. Should I sell these key players and look to rebuild, or should I just strengthen by bringing in one or two players in key positions? Let me know what you think in the comments. But it is a busy episode today, and so we are going to get straight on with the last game of the season. We will play through this week, and then we'll come back just before kickoff. And of course we will update you with what the current league positions are once these teams have played their games in hand. I'll go and get the team ready now. We will be right back. And just before we go to the game, a quick look at how the league table is the day before the final game of the season. And as you can see, we are sitting in 4th place, and that is a Champions League spot, and Arsenal are still behind us and Leicester are still behind us, 2 points behind us. A win or a draw today against Sheffield United should see us through into 4th place. A defeat and then both Arsenal and Leicester could overtake us. Arsenal are away at Blackburn and should be heavy favourites to win that game. And Leicester are at home to Leeds and once again should be favourites to win that game. All we have to do really is focus on our own performance. And Sheffield United are way down in 16th place, and this is a game we should be winning. So let's go and get the team picked for today's game. And so, the team for today in the final game of the season against Sheffield United is Götze in goal, Kamara, Bonilla, Reguan and Allen at the back, Belmonte, Fortes and Zaprapoulis in midfield, Puk, Neil and Wilden will play up front. Wilden did just come to me this week and said that he wanted to consider his options at the end of his contract. I happened to say to him, "What's wrong? You're happy here, aren't you?" And he said, "Oh yes, I am very happy here." So what a stupid conversation that was. And hopefully Wilden is happier now though, and we can get on with the game here today. And I want a big game from Wilden today. I'd like a big game from all the boys today. Let's go out there, let's win this football match, let's go get into 4th beyond any shadow of a doubt, and then I'll try and work out what is the best thing to do in the transfer window. But it is Sheffield United who have started the stronger team, and they have had the only 2 shots on goal at the moment, 3 shots on goal at the moment. We are not playing very well. We have created nothing. We're not controlling possession. This is not our finest game of the season, and it is all Sheffield United at the moment, and I'm not failing to understand what is actually happening here. We should be winning this game easily, but they have had everything in terms of possession, and I'm going to demand more. This is absolutely unacceptable, and this is not the game to be doing this. And it is just proof that we're just simply not good enough. At times we will play really well, and now we are playing absolutely appallingly. We've not created a single chance, and all the players, although they are seemingly performing okay, it's just not good enough, and we have been totally dominated by the team who are in 16th place in the league. But Fortes has done well here. He finds Allen, and Allen all the way over to Zaprapoulis back to Bonilla finds Fortes. That's better, passing it about. Allen, maybe their minds were just somewhere else and they needed to get on with the game a bit more, but we've lost the ball again, won it back. Here's Jay Neal. Come on, somebody has got to do something here. Jay Allen, we've only created 2 chances, but both times we've had a shot on target. Wilden into space, Wilden into the box, Wilden scores. I don't know where that has come from. The referee is checking VAR again. I don't know how many times VAR get checked in a season, but boy, it seems like VAR gets checked twice a game. The goal is awarded, and we have gone ahead, somewhat against the run of play, it has to be said. But we are ahead. It's been a long season. Let's not be too hard on the boys. Although at halftime I want to be telling them this is not good enough. Yeah, I think we know it was onside. We've come back into the game after I told them that I needed a bit more work out of them. And I think we need to keep working hard until full time. Lots of players, they're playing okay, I would say. They're not playing badly, but they're not playing well. I'm going to change things up a little bit here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the line forward. We're going to go a little bit more aggressive in terms of how we are playing against them. We're going to counter press. We'll hold our shape when when the ball has been won. We won't go running up and down the pitch. And I think, yeah, we'll probably take off these two. I want them to go out, enjoy themselves in the second half, feel free of the restrictions and go and play some football. And hopefully we can grab a couple more goals. We've got to come back into this game a little bit. We are doing, and what's quite interesting is we've had 4 shots, 4 on target. This doesn't happen very often. It's been a very strange season, this. A season where we got off like a rocket, then we couldn't win to save our lives around Christmas to February, and now again at the end of the season we're winning for fun. And Jay Neal has now made it 2-0. It was a good switch to push for a little bit higher up the pitch, and at 2-0 I would say we're home and dry now. Even if Sheffield United come back and get a draw, this should see us over the line and into 4th place. What the transfer budgets will be is what is getting my curiosity at the moment. And Leicester are beating Leeds, and I think Blackburn are beating Arsenal. So as long as we can just keep this even to a draw, we will go into the Champions League next season. Good or bad thing, I don't know. We've won the ball at the back. I thought we'd given away a penalty for a moment. But here's Zapropoulos, finds Wilden. Wilden, I'm not quite sure what he was thinking when he came to see me and asked about considering his options. Jay Neal in space, and Jay Neal fires one over the crossbar. What a find he has been, Jay Neal. And he's just done so well since we found him on loan as a young kid. And I'm hoping that Fanardi, who is also a young boy, who will come on in the same way as Jay Neal has and will do a similar job for us. I hope so. He's yet to play to a lot of football, but maybe next season will be the time that he gets to play more. Here is Jay Neal out on the right, playing in a shadow striker role. He finds Kamara, Belmonte, Zapropoulos, who's had a very good season, but he has lost the ball. And Sheffield United are not finished yet. And there's a long punt up the field, well covered by Bonilla, and it goes all the way back to Gotts. Gotts finds Reguan. I need to have a break in play so I can make some substitutions, but we're not getting it at the moment. Zapropoulos out wide. He has Neal inside him, but the chance has gone. Zapropoulos down the right. Can he get a cross in? Yes, he can. It's headed clear. Comes out to John Allen. John Allen bursting into the box. Tries a shot. It deflects off the defender, off John Allen, and goes behind for a goal kick. Time to make some changes. And so we have made our changes, and we just now need to see this game out. And hopefully we'll do that. We'll hold on to the 3 points. We look like we are finishing the season on 70 points, 5 points behind Manchester City, but 2 points ahead of Leicester, which puts us in the Champions League spots. And that will please the board. I'm not sure how I'm going to take it. We've really failed to make any headway this season. We need to somehow find a way to make headway next season, and strengthening the squad is absolutely vital. Kamara looks to break. Are we looking for one final goal this season? He looks for Hossoya. Hossoya bursting forward, pushes the ball down the left. Can he get it into the box? Looks for a cross. He finds McSweeney. He finds Kitambala all the way over to Matic. Matic coming inside, and Matic with the outside of his foot. He blasts it into the corner, and it is now Norwich 3, Sheffield United 0. A fitting way to end the final game of the season. A 3-0 victory. We started very badly. I had to give the team a shake, and they responded. And it is now Norwich 3, Sheffield United 0. I would say that is game over now. And we're just waiting now for the final whistle. We have made it to Europe. The fans are celebrating. And that was nice work, and I don't know how we've managed to turn that around in the final 5 games of the season, when it all looked dead and buried when we were up against Tottenham and Manchester City. And Wilden again on form. I'm happy he's staying. I'm happy that we possibly will get another year or 2 out of him. He's a very, very good player, and we're lucky to have him. What we need to do now is to look for the budgets now, and hopefully the board will give us a very nice budget. And we can see here the board have set the initial budgets. Let's have a look at what the budgets are going to be. And the board have set the wage budget to 2.6 million, and they have set a transfer budget of 41.07 million. This is pretty standard for Norwich. This is what we get each year. I don't know if it's going to be enough to strengthen the squad again. The only way I'm going to do this is to actually sell some of my key players. What do you think I should do, guys? Let me know. I need your help here. Do I sell and rebuild the squad, or do I just bring in maybe 2 decent players and try to bolster the squad that way, little bit by little bit? Let me know in the comments. I think now it's time to go and have a look at how the season went. Let's have a look at the season review. And so in this really topsy-turvy season, let's have a look at how the new arrivals got on. And there were 6 new arrivals, and the best of these was Eric Bonilla. He made 12 appearances and 1 off the bench with an average of 7.08. Nikita Matic, who came in from Liverpool, he was on loan with us the season before. He got an average rating of 7.04. Muntian, who came in from Dortmund, again having previously been on loan the previous season, he got an average rating of 7. Others not so good. Wilson Kamara, who came in from Benfica, only a 6.96. Maliti, coming in from Paris Saint-Germain, 6.82. Didn't play all that many games, but I think he is going to be a star of the future. Played 11 goals, only an average of 6.92, but he'll get better. Fanardi, a very good striker, came in from Milan. He didn't play much at all, 2 appearances off the bench, 6.6. But this boy is going to be an exceptional player, and hopefully he will get more games as we go into next season. And the results, it was a very, very interesting season. We started fairly well. It wasn't brilliant, but we didn't lose for a long time, and that took us all the way up to first. But then around Christmas time, it all seemed to go wrong, and our form at one stage became absolutely diabolical. But at the end of it all, we came back with 4 wins on the bounce, 5 wins out of 6, and we finished in 4th place in the table. In the Champions League, we got to the round of 16, but we were narrowly beaten by Real Betis. And in the FA Cup, not a great season. We were beaten in the 4th round by Manchester City. Likewise, in the Carabao Cup, not a great season, knocked out in the quarter-final by Bournemouth. But we did win the Community Shield, our only trophy of the season. We won the Community Shield. But it was the Premier League again where we excelled. We were supposed to finish around about 10th or 11th, and we finished once again in 4th and qualified for the Champions League. Moments to remember for the fans: there was a 6-1 beating of Dinamo Zagreb in the Champions League, and then match to remember, we beat Arsenal by 3-0 Wilden, Reguan with 2, and that was towards the end of the season. I think the fans like beating Arsenal. And goal of the season was scored by John Allen, who actually got 5 goals from fullback this season, and the fans obviously were really happy for him. The club reputation has not changed over the previous year, and once again broadcast revenue has fallen. I don't know why that happens. Competition prize money has fallen because we didn't actually do as well as last season. But overall, financially, this club remains fairly stable. We sold almost 500,000 shirts. Top of the pile was Hosoya, then Puk, Wilden, Matic and Fortes make up the top 5. And the top 11 for us, it's a very good team. Gotts could do with improving, Muntian could do with improving at right back, and Clark Puk didn't have the best season of his life with just an average rating of 6.98, 7 goals and 3 goals and 7 assists. I have a feeling that Puk is a little bit overvalued now, and it might be time to sell him. If we can, Manchester United were sniffing around for him a while back. Might be time to get rid of Puk and look to spend that money and invest that money in better players. Puk, for my liking, gets a little bit too much in terms of injuries. And in terms of the accolade, I only won the Manager of the Month award once, and that was back in August. And the player awards, Lewis Wilden was our fans player of the season. Young player of the season once again was Zaprapoulos. Signing of the season, Bonilla. Goal of the season, John Allen, as we know. Lewis Wilden was the top goal scorer. He got 36 goals again this season. And Zaprapoulos with 11 assists was the top assists. Most player of the match awards, of course, went to Lewis Wilden with 9. Lewis Wilden had the highest average rating with 7.3. And the most passes completed, not a centre-back this year, it was Francisco Belmonte with 84 completed passes. The record breakers, the most league goals by a player now, is Lewis Wilden, of course, and that now stands at 161. Competition awards, the English Premier League top goal scorer was Lewis Wilden, and the UEFA Champions League Young Player of the Season once again was Jay Neal, and so he seems to do extremely well in the European competitions. And it was a good season. I wouldn't say it was history in the making. We won 1 trophy, the Community Shield. We consolidated a little bit, but we found life extremely difficult in the middle of the season, where the Champions League and the Premier League put us under an awful lot of stress. And that's it for this episode. If you are brand new to the channel and you like FM content, why not subscribe, like, watch, comment, help the channel to grow. Help us to support the British Heart Foundation. I don't know how to feel about this season. I think we've done really well to finish in 4th at the end of the day, because we really did struggle in the middle of the season. January, February, March even were terrible months for us. I think, though, overall we can be happy with that, as we are a small squad. I just need to work out, how do I strengthen the squad? We'll be back with news of what transfers have happened and with the first game of the brand new season. We will see you all in the next episode.